Woo! First, I bring you one heck of a RoboVac this week, and now I'm going to bring you the Zhiyun Smooth Q2 gimbal stabilizer for your cell phone. It'll work on any cell phone. I'll give you the specs for that, and basically all you got to do is Google your phone specs, make sure it matches up. But it'll support 75 grams to 260 grams of weight, 55 to 86 millimeters of width. So if you fall into that, you'll be good. Golden brown, let's go. Record some footage. But you get USB Type-C, thank God. Thank you. Micro USB, why do you still exist? And also you get a wrist strap. So put this thing on, whatever you do, because the last thing you want to do is drop your $1,000 phone and, damage that. It'll actually lock into place, and the 360-degree spin is fantastic. I absolutely hate gimbals that reduce you down to X amount of degrees of turn. I want 360 all the way around. USB Type-C on the side there. You can charge your mobile device with it as well while it's in the gimbal, because it places it pretty smartly up there. It's aluminum, and the machining on this thing is fantastic. Fantastic. Battery life is great, 17 hours. I'm assuming that's correct. It's really hard to judge something that has that many hours, it's that long, and get something out to you in a timely manner. If I'm doing 17 hours of gimbal work, that's a long time, and I wanted to hurry up and get this out. Anyway, put it on while you got the cap off. If you're going to unscrew it and look at it, put the thing on. You're going to wish you had that strap on. This is a pretty cool idea. Like, they're innovative. They push the envelope every year. That little adapter there snaps into place and locks. It's not coming off. It's on there permanent. But it like collapses itself down to a small state, and it pops itself back up again, and then springs out. So it's really cool design. They really thought outside the box with this gimbal. And I'll tell you up front, this is my personal favorite gimbal that's out for mobile devices right now. This is the one I'm going to grab and carry with me when I go places, just because it's pocketable, It's nice, and it's non-intrusive. Like, you can put it on your phone, not have it on your mobile device. You can leave it on there, and you're not really noticed for the day. This thick case doesn't really work with it, so keep that in mind. If you have a super thick case, you might want to go to a thin case or no case for this, and that will work. I don't like not having something on my phone. So this is my wife's phone we're looking at now, and I'm filming with my phone. So hers is Galaxy S8. She's got an older phone, and it fits in there perfect. It's real light and skinny. You're probably not going to get any skinnier than that phone right there, and it fits in there no problem, and it's able to balance. You just want to balance it out with it off. And once you get it dialed in, what you can do is you can turn it left or right, and it kind of stays put wherever you put it. Not like that. Give me just one more little second to nudge it, and when you get it close, it only takes just like a little tap, little tap, and then boom. You can just move it, and it stays in position. You're perfectly balanced. What you don't want to do is have it off balanced, and then your motors will like gyrate and start etching into your footage. But you just power it on, you hold it down, it'll start flashing, and then boom, you're good to go. It's really quick, small, handheld. It's grippy, so my hands doesn't slide up or down. And to move through the different motions, like, it's all listed right there and highlighted. You just push in the joystick, goes to the next thing, next function. You can double tap the joystick to go back through all the functions, and everything's listed right there in front of you, so you know what mode you're actually in. And speaking of modes, here are the modes. There are a total of 6 modes, 5 of which you can get to with button clicks there. That is the pan follow mode, lock mode, full follow mode, POV or roll follow mode, and vortex mode. Those are available at a touch of a thumb push, and that's what I'm going through right now, cycling through those. I think those are in order. The other one we'll get to here in just a second. It takes a little wrist cocking to get you there. But, some of these modes you'll use and some not. I'd rather them be there than not be there at all, you know what I'm saying? But super easy to navigate through these things. There's no wandering 2 clicks, 3 clicks. What mode am I in? How do I get back? How do I get forward? The layout on this gimbal is exactly how all gimbals should be laid out, period. And this thing's a little beast. Like, the motors in this thing are beefy. Don't let the size fool you. It can really work, twerk, and jump around and not really provide much glitching or blips in there. If it does have a hiccup in its range of motion, it will just knock itself out. It doesn't go crazy like it used to. They would spin around and bash your phone and stuff a long time ago, but now they just kind of there's no fear in hurting your device. But you can do 3 clicks of the power button, and that will turn to face you. 3 clicks again to go back, 2 to reset the gimbal. And there you can kind of see its range of motion. You don't have as much as a big full-size one, but it's pretty close. Like, it's manageable. You learn the limitations of it pretty quick. But yeah, it's just pretty quick learning. And you can grab it, turn it, twist it, move it, jerk it, whatever else, and it's really not going to hurt anything. And that's how you get to the 6th. Portrait mode is the 6th mode. All you got to do is just turn your wrist up, and it goes right into portrait. Boom. That easy. So super convenient and easy. And there you can just grab it, turn it wherever you want it to go, and position it, which is really nice. So you don't have to fiddle around with the joystick. And the joystick is another thing. Like, some gimbals, whenever you gradually push the joystick up, it moves slow, and then you go full throttle up, then it goes full throttle. This is just one speed for your joystick, so you're actually going to have to go through the app, which I hate. It's one thing I don't like is the app. And to go in there to do the calibrations and do the motor setting speeds and all that kind of stuff, which you will have to adjust. The Vortex mode, which is kind of the Inception mode that we went through there on the video that I missed talking about while we did it. But it's just where it turns into a barrel looking spin. You'll have to slow that down. You do get a 1/4 thread on the bottom, which you can mount that to a tripod if you like. But overall, man, this fits right in the palm of your hand. It doesn't look ergonomic, but it really is too, because it's grippy. The motors do a good job following you around, and whenever you get finished with this thing, you just unclamp it, pop it off, and it slides right into your pocket. With no issues, no worries, and there's not any other really gimbal out there, except for the Osmo one, but it's still big, and you can shake around with it in your pocket. So, let's look at the app. So here is the issues that I have with the app, and it's kind of with the settings. It connects up, like once you connect it once and you go back into it like this, it will connect back right away, no issues until you have a firmware update, which I had during this. But here I'm shooting a project here, and you can actually see this video, and I encourage you to stop now, go watch the video. I'll leave a link down in the YouTube description. I'll put a card up in the top right corners. We'll go through these different settings and stuff on this app, and at the end of the video there'll be a link to this video. It's the finished version of what I shot everything on this and my LG phone, which LG's kind of spoiled me because their camera settings are like professional settings. You can do everything with the camera settings, adjust mic levels, use a mic for one. It's got 3.5 jack on there. Complete manual control of video and photo. It's fantastic. The LG phones have the best video app on the market in my mind. But here's the different things that you have available in the Zhiyun app itself. 30 frames per second, you can't do 60 frames. It's a generic app. Android phones are just so spread out. There's so many phones running Android that they're trying to, I guess, cater to those. And you can jump in and do a mode here where you can control the gimbal with a device, with a phone. That might work, I guess, if you're using another phone away from the unit, so you have remote control. Like if you had it mounted to a tripod, you wanted to get a smooth shot, you can do it on your device, another device while your device is filming or whatever. And then there's about as good a manual control as you're going to get is that little wheel at the bottom. And so you'll be able to adjust brightness and shutter settings and ISO and all that. But the LG phones are still better, and plus there's some paid for video apps too that are good, but I always still fall back for the LG. All right, this is the section you'll go to actually adjust the roll and stuff for that Vortex to slow things down and manually dial that in, and you have to name them and stuff. It's just a little cumbersome because really I only use this app for firmware, to check for new firmware, to calibrate, and to adjust this stuff here. It would be cool to me if they offered just an app for setting controls for calibration and for setting your roll and pitch and all that kind of stuff. Simplified it down in firmware, and every time you save a setting, it just knocks it into standby mode. That's what that was when it flipped up and moved around. But there was a firmware update, which we'll get to right here, that was while I was setting out there, and man, it takes forever to download a firmware update. But I did that, and then after the firmware, I just couldn't connect back to it. I gave up on it because I'm at the location filming and stuff, so I didn't want to take too much time with it, and I haven't tried it since. But I'm sure I could get it to connect back to it, and once you do once, you know it connects again. But just listen. There's no motor feedback. I know it's hard, like there's a lot of cars and stuff around, but there's no motor noise going back into the gimbal or into the phone, which is mic, which is fantastic, and that's because it's offset and the mic's not right up against one of the motors. So they've solved that problem. They allow you to get to a mic port. They allow you to get to a charging port. It's small, pocketable. Everything about it is fantastic. Just listen. Hard to hear, but there's no more motor noise. So anyway, yeah, the only upgrade I wish they would do, you know, have a separate app for maybe some of the just manual like calibration controls and stuff like that. And also it would be cool maybe on another version that the joystick and all that stuff is recessed into it, so you just have a round handle, right? And then you have a cover that slides down over that so that you don't bump the joystick, power button, and all that kind of stuff while it's in your pocket. That would be the only thing that I would change on version 2. You know, maybe a little bit more range of motion somehow. I don't know how they do it. They're really smart, and they always come out with great gimbals and stuff. So I would just try to come up with a way to slide something down to protect that while it's in your pocket, so you're not possibly breaking that joystick, even though it would probably be impossible. Things that built like a tank. And it's great. And there's a setting I want, or the limitations of the device. The product size itself is 204 by 102 by 41.5 millimeters, so it's a really small device. The tilt mechanical range is 305 degrees, the roll range is 265 degrees, and the pan range is 360 degrees. And I just wanted to go over that with you so that you know the range of it, but you really dial it down and you get it, you know, you understand your range pretty fast. So make sure that I give this a recommendation, of course. I've been talking highly about it, so I love it. Buy it. If somebody wants a gimbal for Christmas, do it. It's worth it. And make sure to explode on that subscribe button and ding that bell so you get notified of the next gimbal that I have coming for you. I used to do gimbals quite often, kind of slacked off this year, but it'll probably rear its head up again when they start rolling back out. So to check the next latest gimbal and stuff like that out, and also watch this video. This is 60 frames per second what you're seeing now. The video is 30 frames per second, slowed down half speed when you watch the real video. I hope you enjoy it too. Comment on it if you like it. See ya.